Storybook Brawl was nice enough to send me some dust codes, so I'm doing another giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be taking a look at some spicy cheese. We've got double blind mouse on the opening shop with Horde Dragon, which is just going to make for a really powerful game. I buy and sell the chicken so I can roll the die and grab a 3/3 blind mouse that's going to make us a little bit stronger. That way we can tie this combat up against Pied Piper. And then on turn 2, we'll pick up the second blind mouse and start rolling, start hunting for that spicy cheese. And this game has a bunch of crazy stuff going on in it. We're gonna have a Holy Grail, which is obviously nuts on Horde Dragon. We're gonna have so many powerful treasures that we're gonna have to just skip and replace a bunch of treasures because we can only hold 3. So winds up doing some really powerful stuff, and overall a pretty strong start. The fact that we also got to roll the die, so we've got this blind mouse surviving all of our combats too, is just absolutely huge. And now we can forbidden fruit, so we can throw in one more roll hunting for that cheese. And unfortunately, we're not going to find it super early on in the game. That's going to come a little bit later. But we get to play 4 units here, and just a bunch of 2/2s. I'm not really expecting to win this one. Probably, maybe we tie it. Honestly, probably just lose this combat, but that's totally fine because we are still at 38 health going into 2.2 here. So we've got some health to play around with, and we're building off the tier 3 treasure for Cindy as well, so we might be able to do some sweet stuff with that later on. We are going to wind up taking 4 damage here down to 34, but we'll see what we can make happen. And there's some interesting things that we can pick up on this shop. With the fact that we have this golden chicken, we can shrink spell, and then we can pick up 3 units from the shop. All 3 evil units, potentially going to give us a little bit more cash later on. You do have to decide if you want to play 3 units in the back line to play around Baby Dragon, or play 4 units in the front line just to give Kitty Cutpurse a little bit more wiggle room to be able to attack first. So I think that this is ultimately probably the more correct play, and getting to play, I mean, we're just playing 6 units this turn, but 6 pretty strong units at this point, adding in the Kitty Cutpurse and the Mummy. Fortunately, my opponent has a really good setup here, so we do wind up losing this combat as well, down to 27. Now we aren't feeling super hot, but we can definitely still claw our way back in it. And not even sure what I pick up on this turn. I might just pick up the golden chicken, and okay, don't even bother with the golden chicken. I just roll and then pick up the Witch of the West, and that's gonna give us another pair, which is good. It gives us a little bit more power on the Mummy, and then I cast the For Glory, and I have no intention of winning this combat, but the important thing here is just to pick up the 4 Glory to build to a treasure off Cinderella, and that could potentially give us a little bit more power. It'll give us a 4/4, it could give us more gold depending on whatever we find there. Probably not looking to play like a hat ball strategy at this point in the game. Hat ball doesn't really work super great with tier 5 treasures, so definitely not hunting for hat ball. We are going to take another loss here. We take 5 down to 22, but then we get to make 3 treasures this turn. So the order is important. You want to go for a healing potion first, looking for treasure map. Now we don't find that, but we do find Merlin's hat, which we can use to buy some more XP later in the game. And then I pick up the blind mouse, and don't love Hand of Midas this early. Sword of Fire and Ice could give us some additional stats, but I think we can risk it. I think we can go Staff of the Old Toad here and just really set ourselves up well for a powerful end game. And from there, we do have another really interesting choice to make, because Sky Castle can be really good with Staff of the Old Toad, and it's cool on Horde Dragon, but we're going to see a bunch of Royals next turn, so Sky Castle could be good. But I am going to go for Forking Rod ultimately, because we've got the Merlin's hat that could help us just buy some really cheap XP. And then I'll end the turn by picking up a Humpty Dumpty. But Staff of the Old Toad is really powerful and has insane high roll potential when you are playing Horde Dragon, and honestly we don't get that punished. We only take 4 damage from this combat and lose our Humpty Dumpty, and there's some pretty good units that we can pick up here too. We get to double cast Gingerbread Party before we do anything else, so that'll give our entire shot +2/+2 for the rest of the game, and from there I'll pick up a 7/7 and a 6/12. These are pretty respectable units, and I'm not feeling too bad that I did not pick up the Sword of Fire and Ice and instead went for the Staff of the Old Toad here. It's definitely a little bit greedy, but I think that we can get away with it, and it'll set us up for some much more powerful things down the line. Playing up against Sharebear this turn, so they're probably going to be pretty strong. Interestingly, we are at 19 health, so if we find a Gingerbread Knight down the line, we will be set up pretty well. But what's really cool about this combat is we get 3 triggers on our Nutcracker, and we actually win the combat. So not too shabby, not going to be upset about that. And then we get to pick up 2 Gingerbread Knights that are 16/16s actually, because of the Gingerbread Party. Oh yeah, Gingerbread Knight, Gingerbread Party. Come on down. And I'll just wind up rolling past the Prince Arthur. I don't think it's super impressive, especially because I'm not even really finding the room right now to play this Cinderella on the board. So, you know, we wouldn't even really be pumping anything with another Arthur if we took it. Eventually, you know, maybe we'll triple the Gingerbread Knight, triple the Arthur itself, but for right now, this is totally fine. Wind up rolling down so that I can find a spell to cast. I want to make use of my Merlin's Hat plus Forking Rod every turn, and I find a Kidnap, which is really sweet because that's going to give us a pair of units, and we could potentially triple them. Now, in hindsight, we are playing up against Peter Pants, so we're not going to be able to grab something that we can triple. We wind up grabbing 2 Luckies, and the reason that we can't triple that is because we have Staff of the Old Toad. So not going to be so lucky with that one, and we will wind up taking a little bit of damage. And then here we have another really interesting decision to make. We can't Forking Rod this XP spell. We are playing up against the lobby leader, so there's a chance that it translates into 2 XP regardless. But it's certainly a little bit awkward, right? The fact that we are not going to be able to double this. A Turkish Delight would actually be cheaper and better, but we'll wind up taking out the Wish Upon a Star. I want to grab some XP so that way we can start really making use of this Staff of the Old Toad. I'm going to triple up on the Gingerbread Knight this turn, and I think from here I have to either pick up an Evil Eye or the Monkey's Paw. Evil Eye pretty good because we've got a few supports on the board, but Monkey's Paw is just going to be overall more stats, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up here now. And I think that I also probably wanted to toss Forking Rod this turn and hang on to the Merlin's Hat, because without the Merlin's Hat, the Forking Rod is a little bit sus. It's a little bit trickier to play. Then I'm going to lock onto this shop that has let's get, yeah, I don't know why I held up 4 fingers. It's got 2 tier 5 units that are also both really good with Monkey's Paw. The Wombats in Disguise and the Pigs. So definitely want to pick up both of those, and the fact that we held on to the Forking Rod doesn't really matter because we're going to toss it here for either Dracula's Saber or Helm of the Ugly Gosling, and I think that we are strong enough now that we can actually just take the Dracula's Saber, especially with this Gingerbread Knight. 41-46 reppin' in the front row here. That's going to get some kills, and that is going to be very good for us. Now, interestingly, we can do some fun stuff with this combat as well. I'm thinking Lancelot is pretty sweet, and we could Blaze of Glory it to send it over the edge. Unfortunately, if we Blaze of Glory, we'll have to play 2 units down, which I think is just more than I feel comfortable with. I do consider that Lancelot, though, could actually just work out with the Dracula's Saber. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to bench the Pigs. I'm locking on to Blaze of Glory in case this... Oh, I do wind up benching the Arthur. Okay, that makes more sense. And all we need is one more thing to die, and we actually get the Lance trigger from attack on this combat. So pretty sweet stuff there. That is going to allow us to grab a tier 6 treasure now. And here's where we start getting to a little bit diminishing returns. Like, all of our treasures are good. What are we possibly tossing here? The Pandora's box is just too much to pass up on. So I tossed the Dracula's Saber. We're going to keep on the monkey's paw for now, especially when we've got these wombats and we can pick up another big pigs. That is just looking way too sweet. So we'll pick that up. We're gonna have a tier 7 treasure next turn. Didn't even realize that I was already tier 6. I guess I won that Wish Upon a Star. So much has been happening this game, but I don't really love any of these units, so I go for a Mask Ball to transform some of these, and then we get a Hercules. All right, we got to throw that in here too. I'm going to toss the Wombats in disguise, put the Hercules on the, what's that called? Lady of the Lake, so that way it has a little bit more survivability. And I think we're off to the races here. I think we are now doing something really, really powerful. We're 2 XP up on our opponent here. We are hunting for 2 tier 7 treasures at this point as well. We get halfway through Hercules. It's not going to fully complete on this turn, but we're just wicked strong, and we get a tier 7 treasure right now. That's going to give us the round table, and that's great for me because I already love trying to force trees, especially on Horde Dragon, and we're already level 6. We're up some XP on the rest of the lobby, and what do you know? We find an Ashwood Elm immediately. So that's pretty sweet. I think that I won't play it for the time being because I like my Hercules, I like my Lancelot. I will throw a Stone Skin on it though. I think that that's pretty good. I'm just not going to play the Ashwood Elm for this turn because it's actually still my smallest unit, but once I find a burning tree, we'll be able to do some powerful stuff with that, and just trying to stay strong here with the pigs for the time being. But really, really sweet game that we got here, and Staff of the Old Toad, definitely a little bit greedy, but some of those other tier 5 treasures on the Horde Dragon definitely allowed us to catch up back into it and do some equally powerful things here. So all of that is really sweet. Hercules is going to activate this turn, so that's awesome. And we just have to battle through these Medusas. And luckily, these pigs really help us battle through Medusas because the pigs wind up summoning and making sure that the other pigs don't get taken down. Now, we do wind up taking some damage here, but we're still alive. And now we get to grab another tier 7 treasure, and you know it's got to be Holy Grail. We're playing up against the Ghost this turn. We get to pick up 2 trees right now, so all of this is looking great. I will toss my, what's it called? My Monkey's Paw and pick up 2 large trees, and from here we are just going to see what nutty stuff we can do with this Holy Grail. We're going to roll next turn for Echo Woods, Ashwood Elms, and Burning Trees, and then maybe I'll take some Green Knights or something if we can find some other things in the meantime. But this is looking really, really quite strong. Just trying to make sure I'm as strong as I can possibly be, because we are taking a little bit of a risk against the Ghost now that we've dropped the Monkey's Paw. We're dropping the pigs. It's definitely a little bit of a side grade, I don't know, because these trees, this Echo Wood, is obviously going to be super huge for us at the same time, and honestly, that's enough to win. Just our front line is able to take it down, so now, Holy Grail, Staff of the Old Toad, Horde Dragon, let's do it up. We pick up a burning tree. I'm going to sell off everything else here as I roll. You can roll with the spacebar while you sell everything else out of the shop, and just clear off yourself some room. Seeing that I have no units, I decided to pick up a Heartwood Elder and a Robinwood. Probably should have just not wasted my time with those, to be totally honest, and just kept rolling. But we get to pick up another Echo Wood. Echo Woods are really, really good once you are Holy Grailing, and from there I just pick up some more pairs. We are Horde Dragon, so maybe we'll be able to make use of some of these pairs here, pick up some more treasures. We grab another tier 5 treasure. Hand of Midas actually okay. I was ready to skip, but Hand of Midas means now that we can grab an upgraded Burning Tree or Ashwood Elm next time we find one. Well, Burning Tree we're just going to be able to upgrade from upgrading it, and from there awkwardly I have to skip on a tier 7 treasure because I don't want to lose this Staff of the Old Toad and I don't want to lose Hand of Midas. I will triple Robinwood again. Probably just skipping, but then I see Ivory Owl and I actually like that treasure a reasonable amount, so pick that up. We used a lot of time on our Holy Grail turn looking at treasures, but honestly, we're super strong at this point in the game. It probably doesn't really matter too much, and this Owls I think is going to be good for us, so I think that we did good work here picking up the treasures that we did pick up. Then we get to pick up an upgraded Burning Tree, so that'll use up our Hand of Midas. And yeah, looking quite strong now. We're basically full build. We could potentially pigomorph here. I don't see how we lose though. So I'm just gonna focus on scaling as much as possible. I'm gonna backline my burning trees, frontline my echo woods, and just roll for some more trees here. I think that we are doing totally fine. Let's skip ahead into the fight up against the Fates. And yeah, our units are massive. Our burning trees are up in the 600s and our echo woods are up in the 2000s. So that's going to amount in an easy win there up against Merlin. And let's see what else we could find. We could dream. This is probably the final fight. There is actually kind of an interesting maneuver that I do this turn. So I pick up the Ashwood Elm, pick up the Merlin's Test, and I think that this is all really strong. However, if we do the math here, I'm level 6, and then we've got 9 damage from our upgraded trees, so that's 15, plus 4 damage from our unupgraded trees. That's only 19 damage. So I actually want to get in another upgraded tree this turn, and I think it has to be Robinwood. I'd love to play the Heartwood Elder and do a little bit more scaling, but we're winning this combat by having none of our things die, right? Now we can have one of our units die and still win. It has to be one of our unupgraded units. That's definitely still a possibility, especially with a ranged unit in the backline. So that's the plan. We might be able to finish this off in one combat up against Pan Shadow. And well, we're definitely going to win, right? But Cupid could certainly spell a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Cupid's going to mean that we don't win this turn, and Medusa also going to mean that we don't win this turn, technically. However, we are still going to win this turn as my opponent immediately concedes upon that battle completing. They might have even conceded during that combat because we were just so powerful. Echo Wood, double Echo Wood with the round table, plus we were scaling and had all of these upgraded trees. So really powerful game. Definitely some silly stuff, skipping a bunch of really powerful treasures there too on the final turn, and just having a wonderful holy grail with that Staff of the Old Toad on Horde Dragon, which is always just way too strong. If you can make sure that you're not super greedy, that you can still stay alive. But that is going to be it for me today. Here's the details for my giveaway this week. Just leave a comment below that includes the word good on any of my videos. New week, new code word, and you'll be entered into a chance to win a 4,000 dust code. The reason that I say to include the word, that way I can differentiate between the people just leaving a comment and those that are actually interested in the dust, to make sure that it goes to a person that will appreciate it. And there's no limit to how many times you can enter. You can go back and comment on some of my previous videos. I've been uploading daily Storybook Brawl videos for the past 7 or 8 months at this point, so I'm sure there is some sweet content that you have yet to see. And yeah, you can enter multiple times. I will do a new code next week. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that if a bunch of people enter, I will give away more codes. So that's just going to be limited by how many people are entering and how many people are commenting. Let's get this channel to over 1,000. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.